Welcome back to Tama Anime Review, episode number 4. This is reviewing the 4th season of the series. Yep. Now this season lasted for exactly 51 episodes. Yep. Unlike the last season, which started up with a filler episode, this first episode actually is a quick little two-parter. Bye. Anyways, yes, it's a two-parter where Oddjobs goes to a barber shop because Geen wants to get a haircut, and the barber never cuts his hair the whole episode. Yep, he never gets his hair cut. Yeah, so the owner has to go run out because apparently there's this manga series that Kagura's reading, and one of the volumes is missing, and he goes out to buy the missing volume. And then a little bit, and they have a few customers come by. Like first it's Kagura, the guy who used to be a bureaucrat. Now he's basically a homeless guy, and they mention he's 38 years old. Yep. And he's there for a little. Actually, no. First is Kaido who shows up, and then it's Katsura. Yep. Yeah, and he's there just to give himself a haircut, and of course his hair is really long. Simple like shampoo in his hair. Kaido, that was interesting, the fact that he showed up, so he decided to get his shave. So they kind of like knock him out, but I thought it was so funny. The fact that prior to Kaido walking in, Oddjob decided to disguise themselves with wearing afros. Yep. I thought it was a really hilarious thing. At the end of the first episode, while everybody is there just relaxing, the chief of the director of police shows up with the Shogun. Yes. Gee knows the past couple times that they have encountered this guy, he is unexpectedly stripped down, butt naked, or at least stripped down to his underwear for really no reason at all. It's one of the most bizarre coincidences, and he wants to get like a model haircut. He wants to give it his top knot. They accidentally do cover his top knot, but they try to sort of stretch his hair out, and of course squeeze his face, and kind of look like put like hair on his head, and that's where they get the hair from to fill it up. I'm not gonna say because it's kind of disgusting the fact Geen does this. And they use this stuff from Katsura's hair to put it where he gets from disgusting part from. No idea why he did this. Yeah, but it's one of the most weirdest and kind of disgusting things. And apparently he was so touched by the kindness, the fact he did this, that apparently the barbershop, as soon as the owner gets back with the missing volume of this manga, by the way, the director police actually is the one who borrowed this volume from the barbershop owner. Apparently because the Shogun got so much kindness, he decided to give money to barbershops and build like a whole bunch of these particular style ones. Yep. And then pretty much after that, it's just I think it's like 4 straight standalones. Yeah, it's like 4 straight standalone episodes like right after that. We have one where Kagura can't go to sleep, and she's basically going nuts because she cannot go to sleep. So she listens to a really kind of scary story to put her to sleep, but it can't put Geen to sleep. Yep. Oh yeah, I should point out though, Kagura the whole series sleeps in a closet. Yeah, I'm trying to think though. There was one other female character I can think of who actually has done that, and that's Rukia. Yeah, she did that for the opening season of Bleach. The rest of the time, whenever she stayed at Ichigo's house, she slept in a spare bed. She slept in Ichigo's sister's bedroom. Yeah, but that's what Kagura stays for pretty much the whole series. Yep. And then we have like a party episode, I thought this was really interesting. The fact they actually did an episode where they celebrated one of the characters' birthdays. That was quite nice. They did this, and pretty much everybody who came to this, who was involved with the Rock Palace arc from the previous season, which seems like almost any time now they have to do this. It seems like that Kebe and basically anytime these two characters have to show up, they have to show up mostly together in a way. Though they did do one episode where it didn't feature them at all. It was an interesting episode. They also invited a bunch of celebrities. One did stay after everybody got insulted. Yeah, that was an actor who the actor himself does come back a little later along with the TV show host, comes back also in the following arc as well. But it was a fun little episode. Um, 55, it just basically horse race episode. Just didn't want to deal with it. 56. This one is told. Yeah, it's virtually if you watch the entire episode, it's basically all one shot. Yeah, like it's like one. The camera does not move. It's simply put set in the set position, and it's like this the entire episode, with the exception of the last few minutes. And like various characters, you hear people like Gin, Hitsuga, Kaido, Otia, and Gin. These five characters show up, and when they finally reveal who these people are, they're not them at all. They have the same voices, yes, but their appearances are completely like Kaido looks like an actual gorilla. Gin and Otia look completely different, like they have this weird looking lips. And yeah, it's really weird that they actually did this. Yep. And then we have an arc that's kind of a follow up to an arc from it loose follow up to the Shigami Crisis arc. Yeah, the Otia arc. Yeah, involving the pop singer. Yeah, this is a loose follow up to that one because the Demon Sword comes back to haunt Hatsuga. So he wants to get rid of the spirit. So he does this thing where he dresses up like him, trying to get rid of the thing, and have the big brawl between the fans of this smoking hot teenage singer, which she wanted to claim like both these two. And the way they do these rounds is quite interesting. Like through this special contest to be the official fan club. First, it's a race, and then it's a, believe it or not, a trivia thing, and Sheen gets automatically disqualified for being tardy. I'm like, no one noticed he was missing. It was really, really, really weird. And apparently, Otia basically didn't know how to use the controls right to raise these giant slides. Yeah, and Sheen's team is made up of, well, Sheen, Gin, Kagura, and a friend of his, though he gets briefly taken out by being run over by a car. Drive by Soto. Yeah. And Toshi team's made up of Toshi, Kaido, Soto, and Yasa. I actually kind of like this character. He's quite funny. Despite the fact the guy doesn't get a lot of screen time, he's quite an interesting character, and I do recommend basically trying to check out his appearances because I kind of wish this guy got a lot more screen time because he's just that interesting. Yeah, he's not one of the big three when it comes to Shinigami, but at least he's interesting. I would like to know more about this guy, but the series doesn't get much of his time. But it's actually a really fun little. It's not a dark arc like they had a couple times, but yeah. But it is interesting, though. They kind of do follow up. This was basically for Shinigami Crisis. What was the round that came right after this one? Well, half of the race, they have they have a setting where they have these two people try to woo the singer. First, it's through it's like so funny. Yeah, he's just I'm calling him Toshi. So his way of seducing her is basically meeting her in a bar. Kaido's the bartender. Yakuza basically dressed up as another woman, and Soto is a narrator. he's like, I'm kind of surprised the fact he take out his sword and start like poking outside, like not coupled with the narration gives like way too much information. And it eventually takes her to the castle in the sky, which is a reference to the actual film. I've seen the film; it's a great film to watch. And then we have a little scene where they're trying to woo her with desert stuff, which, yeah. And Gin himself is a narrator, and Sheen is supposed to be the one who's supposed to be wooing her. Yeah, and it's not exactly wooing her. It's basically all acting. Yep, it's all acting. Yeah. But in a way, Sheen's one win that one. The last round is a rip-off of Yu-Gi-Oh! Of all things. Yes, it's a rip-off of Yu-Gi-Oh! This whole game involved, which is based upon the lead singer and her band. This whole thing. And eventually, after a little while, the thing turned into an actual boxing match where Toshi and Sheen beat the living crap out of each other. Yeah, to the point where Toshi, well, his spirit from the demon sword got excised from him, and Sheen had to give up the title of the official fan club, though his club pretty much continued as is. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then right after that, we had like 3 straight standalone episodes. Well, one was a split episode. They've done these several times. Like one where there's a rival odd job. Turns out it was actually the original one. The other one, She, Me, a Robot Future. The second one I didn't really care for. The first one I thought was really interesting. Figure out who these people are, and it's the original one. Yep. And 65 just Geen catching a cold, and apparently they have to have Sheen flashback to a time when everyone else got colds, and like everybody, like not only Geen, but also like everybody except Sheen for surprisingly. And Katsura basically got a cold, though his virus turned into Will Smith of all things. They call him Ill Smith. It's basically a parody of Will Smith. It's an interesting little episode, but it's also one of those ones that just had to feature Azumi. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 66, just Toshi and Geen basically get into an argument involving trying to catch try and catch a rebel, and Geen basically is just half asleep, just trying to drop up his trash, and somehow this interrupts Toshi to the point where he arrests Geen, but he puts another handcuff on himself, calls Soto to come over to unlock the handcuff, and he puts the other handcuff on him. And of course, Soto, instead of doing his job like watching the back door, he's at a ramen stand. Not kidding. This is what he's doing. He says, Roger. I'm like, seriously? So Soto basically he basically abandons he basically skips work to basically food. Couldn't he tell Toshi first? I don't know. And one of the ways that when they go to the restaurant to follow the guy, they act natural is by Geen putting a frozen mouth and having even Toshi dance. It was so funny to see this. It's one of the most hilarious scenes in the whole episode, but it is just pure hilariousness. Yep. Next 4 episodes, the Tama Quest. Yeah, this one is a parody of Dragon Quest. It's like everybody in this whole arc he thinks they're an RPG, and here's the thing, they are doing this because, well, Tama is a big fan of RPG games. Apparently, well, this is explained even from our debut. So they have to basically venture inside because she first turned into Paragons, and then she turned into Pixels. Yeah, she turned into Pixels. And she started like a character from an NES game. Not kidding, they actually reference that here. So eventually they take their Genkai, just eventually she's caught a virus, probably because of connection with the internet. So he shrinks down Geen, Kagura, and Sheen with this hammer. Look like they killed him, but nope, shrunk him down. Those assign Tama. They eventually find a soldier, a guy with a white suit, and they try to look for the king. And they think they find King. Nope, it's not him. It's actually a guy with a black virus. He's actually one of the black suits. And one of the people they thought was one of the greatest warriors, the dog. Turns out he was the king. And he's a carbon copy of. He's basically based on Geen, because according to Tama, she says that she based him off the strongest person she knew, who is Geen. Yep. Yeah, fun little arc. Yeah, it's great though, the fact this arc only took up like just a few episodes. Yep, and then we have 6 straight standalones. Yeah, 6 like right after this. We have a split episode. Burglars breaking into Geen's place. Of course, I find Zumi tied up for no reason. Eventually, everybody gets thrown out. The second half is involving everybody going crazy over the hair falling out. Yeah, it turns out it was actually just an alien virus. A guy who apparently was sought to be murdered. Nope, turns out he was not really murdered at all. Missing identity. 73, another split episode. Yeah, 2 episodes after the last one. This one is basically Katsura thinks Elizabeth, and turns out it's actually not Elizabeth, it's somebody else. Let's see. A body switch episode. Yeah, this one was quite hilarious. Like, Gin ended up in Shotoru's body. He spends most of the episode basically acting like this, and Shotoru ended up in Gin's. And everyone, and Gin thought he ended up in his own body again when he woke up. Yeah, it turns out he ended up in Sheen's glasses. And then by next episode, he's basically back in his body with no explanation. Yeah, this is one of those times, basically, they just leave stuff unresolved. Yeah, then 174, another split episode, 2 episodes in a row they do split episodes. Hitsugawa basically, well, being threatened by the Yakuza, and they had to go, and them and Odd Job still got to catch fish. They catch fish along with sex toys. Well, it's basically blow up dolls that they caught and bombed the ocean. Yeah, one of these things also ended up in Shotoru's stomach. Yeah, don't really know how in the world he got that. He just did. 75, did this episode. I just skip over this because I didn't really care, but basically watch an episode where characters go dentist. 76, yeah, this one in preparation for the new film, announcement of the film, which is basically a British version of the Bioshock from a couple seasons back. I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, this one is just a count on the best lines in the series. Yep. And the whole episode is basically, instead of, well, done in traditional animation, this is all done in CGI, and Sheen's got a ball cap on. Everybody's like, and the whole countdown thing, they eventually use the same footage for the character pole arc, which I'll get to that soon, but all about the best lines. And also, Hotia shows up during the episode like, really? Oh, and by the way, this is his only appearance the entire season. Yeah, that's the thing though. This is by far his only appearance the whole season. He's such an annoying character, but he's just a blast when he shows up. Yep. And then we have mostly a 4-parter with one episode. It's called the Red Spider Arc. This is basically exploring Tashiru's past, where she got her skills, and it turns out that, well, it's connected to the Azume clan, the Asura clan, which the main villain was part of, but got kicked out due to, well, he had killed his comrades, and he killed his foreign master. Yeah, and turns out the reason why he did this, well, because they massacred his clan and left him only his sister alive, and eventually he had no choice but to join them. Yeah, and apparently he got jealous over the fact Tatsuro was happy. Yeah, and Tatsuro was also in love with Gin. Yeah, it seems like almost every character. Oh, and Gin, like, twice this whole arc, even in the aftermath of the episode, where Gin gets scared of a spider. It's like, she tells him to touch her, and so he gets scared of a spider, his head ends up in her chest, and then he just grabs one of her breasts, she blushes, and then basically suplexes him right through a door. Yeah, she does the same thing later on, where he just accidentally his head was handing out and accidentally grabs one of her breasts, and once again he gets suplexed. Yeah, but this one, like another arc they did this season, this one was a follow-up to another arc from the previous season. Yeah, 2 arcs this particular season that follow up to other arcs. Yeah, and also they bring back various characters like Hiniti, I think her name is. They bring back her and her son. Yeah, though her son doesn't really make much appearance this whole arc, but it's nice to see them. And then basically after her former master dies, she's still trying to recover after being like stabbed and tortured. Also, apparently, when she wanted to kill herself, he beat the living crap out of her, and Gin basically just literally almost nearly killed this guy over her. Now, it's never revealed that Gin is even attract this woman at all. Heck, it's even pointed out later that this guy is also responsible for the scar on her eye. Yeah, this was said like, okay, where the heck did she get the scar from? I guess some people probably were asking the writer about this, so he decided the whole arc pretty much to just explain that, yeah, or the guy who taught her all of her moves, how to do that, basically give her her identity as a woman. And Gin pointed out, though, with the scar, she's still beautiful. That's indeed true. She's still a beautiful woman, despite the scar. Oh yeah, and she's probably the only woman in the whole series who actually smokes. Yes. Though she's one of several characters who smoke in this series, she's the only woman who smokes. Yeah, the only one who smokes. And she smokes a pipe. Not a cigarette, a pipe. Yeah, and I will get to the character poll thing, but yeah, awesome arc this was. I thoroughly enjoyed watching this one. Okay, I think the character poll came right after this, didn't it? Um, yeah, it did. Like right after this one was the character poll. And this one took up like 3 episodes. Yeah, they announced the character poll. Gaming number one, obviously. Everyone made various spots in the course of the list. Sheen made number 8. Yakuza made number 9. Oh, and who made number 2? Soto. Hitsuka made number 3. Yeah, Azumi made number 25. Yeah, the way they position things, everybody's like fighting to get to the top, and it turns out the whole thing was manipulated by Akuza, who actually sort of faked the whole thing of having himself get sort of assaulted and basically stripped almost completely butt naked. Oh yeah, and also this arc is also noteworthy for the second time in the series that Kaido has exposed himself. Yes, he has done this twice in the whole series where he's stripped himself completely butt naked for like no reason at all. Just like the last time, there really was no reason for him to go butt naked. And apparently he likes exposing himself to his enemies. Yeah, and this also arc is good that it has Tatsuo uh meeting like half the rest of the characters for the first time, because prior to this arc, she never met anybody outside of Odd Jobs before. And this arc, she met pretty much like most of the cast of the series. Eventually, Sheen and Yakuzi get number 1, though they eventually get thrown out of the building. Though they're fine next arc. Yeah, and then pretty much like right after this arc wrapped up, we have just a couple standalone episodes. Yep. I think so, right? Like right after this one? Uh, no, actually, yeah, it's actually one standalone episode before they get to that particular arc. Let's see. We have 85, a split episode. This one was weird. First one is involving Toshi trying to find this mystical key involving mayonnaise. I guess guys has some mayonnaise. Excuse me. And the second one was just trying to get rid of these beehives and have these various queens get killed by various games. It's like first one get killed by PS3, an Xbox, and a Wii. I'm like, okay, did they just just throw in like all the at that point the current generation game consoles? Yeah, at that point this current generation game console, the Switch was the first one, and I think there might be PS5 and their Xbox. I'm not really sure though, but yeah. And at the end of it, yeah, the queens are all alive. Yeah, it's a little interesting little arc, but it was fine. In the case of the following arc, where Goku arc, which this one takes up just a couple episodes. This one is something involving Soto's past. A past case of his is haunting him because of the fact that there's this girl who wants to kill Soto for basically killing her father. It turns out that his subordinate killed her father in self-defense. Yeah, and the whole thing, and he wanted her to continue to hate her eventually afterwards, and the person who convinced her to go after him was the brother of the guy who led the faction stayed at their inn. Yeah, and it turns out also that her father was blackmailed and forced to allow this rebel group to stay at his inn. And he was just doing what he can to protect his family. Yeah, and Soto, as for why he covered up this guy's death, well, the reason why he did it is because he didn't want this, he wanted to protect the little girl. That's the only reason why. And apparently this happened about 2 years prior to the events of the series, which I'm like, that's interesting. Yeah, apparently it happened like 2 years back. Yeah, and then basically as punishment for what Soda did for lying official report, he and his subordinate had to file a bunch of paperwork as punishment. Yes, they had to go through what looked like about 4 stacks of paperwork. I mean, I'm talking about like a small stack. I'm talking about a mountain size pile. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was their punishment for lying in an official report. Yeah, involving this one guy. Mm-hmm. Yep, and after that, definitely there's about 2 straight standalone episodes right after that. 88. I skipped over this one because I just didn't care for it. I read the description of like, yeah, don't care, skip over it. Yeah, just involving Hitsuka getting a job. Yeah, and this guy who he briefly stays with just doesn't really care. 189. I think this is by far the last split episode of the season. Yeah, this is officially the last one. There's more afterwards. The first half is a reporter trying to get information on Geen, and it turns out that this guy replaced Geen with the original Gundam. And the reason why he did that, 30th anniversary of the Mobile Suit Gundam franchise. Though next year mark its 40th anniversary. And I gotta admit for this anime, they did a really good job recreating the Gundam. Excuse me. It's a good thing the team does not get lawsuits from Sunrise over this, because Sunrise is the same studio who makes this series along with the Gundam series. Yeah, I think this is like one of 2 franchises they work on. This one along with the Gundam one. Yeah, I think as far as I know, they have been working on Gundam since the beginning, and this is their bread and butter. So the frequent Gundam references is not unexpected. As far I don't remember if in fact the manga is noteworthy for referencing this one a lot, but yeah, Gundam they reference a lot the whole series. Yep. And then we have a quick little 3-parter which is involving stray cats. Yep, stray cats. Also, the guy who was from another arc. Yeah, this is the second arc. The second time he's actually appeared in the series. Last time was involving Shoto trying to find a mate, and the time before that it was involving a woman who was hired odd jobs to find her lost son. They do find him, but he got plastic surgery. Yep, that was the first time he showed up. The second time was during the whole standalone pet episode with Sotoru, and this was his third appearance. The guy was not the main villain of this arc. He was more like a supporting villain, and he didn't even fight Geen at all. It just basically and also in this arc, Geen and Katsura got turned into cats. Kaido got turned into a gorilla. As for why he got turned into a gorilla, never explained. As for why Katsura and Geen got turned into cats, well, apparently Katsura took a dump on this cat's grave, this particular cat's grave, and apparently Geen went number 1 on it. Okay, so you get mad because of that, so you turn into cats. Geen got turned into a white cat, and Katsura got turned into a black cat with a blue scarf. As why Kaido was turned into a gorilla, never explained. Yeah, that's one thing that was never explained in this whole arc. And he apparently was implied he was turned back normal, but he's still a gorilla. And next time you see him, he's perfectly fine, without any explanation. Yeah, the series tends to do this occasionally, where they tend to reset characters for like no reason, with no repercussions, because it's a gag series. That's the reason why. Mm-hmm. The next one's a cooking episode. This one I thought was really nice. I liked this one, where Geen is like Kagura, basically eating the same thing for 3 days straight, which is raw egg over rice. Yeah, to them it's like, it tastes good, but you can't have it every day. So Kagura, Otsa, Kabuto, Azumi, and Shin go to a cooking class. Yep, a whole episode of a cooking class. I haven't seen many ones like this where you have a whole episode dedicated to cooking. One Piece has done this several times, where they have an episode dedicated to cooking. Let's see. Bleach never did this. A lot of the other series I've watched, aside from One Piece and this one, I can't really think of an episode where... Oh, yeah. Fairy Tail did an episode about cooking as well. Mm-hmm. I know, in fact, JoJo Adventures never did. Rashura Kenshin? No, definitely not Shidoruken. So far I can think of besides this series, it's just been One Piece, Fairy Tail, and I think occasionally Seven Deadly Sins. I'm trying to think, was any a series that kind of had an episode dedicated to cooking? No, not really. I don't mind episodes dedicated to cooking. At least that I have no problem with because at least they're doing something. It may not be actiony bit, but at least it's an interesting thing to do. It's better than a horse race bet one or going to a dentist. I mean, I can't think of a series where a character goes to the dentist. Yeah, never heard of a series that does this. Yep. And then right after that was an arc I just finished up today, which was the Divide arc. Yeah, this one took up like 5 episodes. In the manga, this one took up like about 8 chapters. Yeah. The weather girl the Genie's had a crush on since the beginning. Yeah, he just runs into her randomly on the street in the middle of the rainstorm, and she's depressed because her fortunes are wrong, and it turns out there's a reason for this. Because her ex-husband is bitter against her brother for basically ending their marriage. Yeah, despite the fact it's revealed that when she was married to this guy, she got depressed, and it nearly killed her. So this particular marriage was not a happy one. So yeah, her brother realized his mistake and basically took her away, ended the marriage right away. And the clans were fighting each other. Yeah, it's all everything. But this was a really interesting little episode arc, and Gene himself, instead of proclaiming himself savior, because he's already a savior already, thanks to saving this underground from the King of the Night. Yeah, so I guess he didn't want to be declared savior again. So, and also he kept the whole he requested it kept withhold a little factoid from Anne, that's the name of the woman, the name is Krista, about the little factoid, the fact that the reason why this whole fight started was because of her. Yep, he only did it just to make her happy, just see her smile. And he pointed out to her when she visited, when he brought her to Odd Jobs, is that he never cared about her reports at all. All he cares about is seeing her smile. Yeah, and it's revealed in this arc that the whole thing with her being Weather Girl, that's actually her day job. She's also a sorceress. Not kidding, she casts spells in the form of pentagram, summoning demons to fight other demons. Yeah, and it turns out her clan is actually a rival of another clan. Yeah, and they explain the origin of this particular clan. It's quite interesting origin story where these two brothers who apparently care, and they also they practiced together, and eventually the younger brother fell in love with a princess. Eventually the older brother took the princess. Apparently they had a kid together, and the younger brother got sent there by the emperor because he declared his brother a traitor. So he killed her. He killed the woman he loved and his brother, but he spared the child because it'd be kind of bad to end his brother's line. So he took her. So basically, he took him home. It's never explained if the emperor was what his reaction was to finding out he became an uncle. Yeah, the story does not explain that, if he was happy or mad that he became an uncle. Though I think in the case of this guy, he didn't have a problem with the fact he became an uncle, except the fact he really wanted to be this child's father because he loved the mother. So eventually, the younger brother's clan formed the rival clan, which is basically the Black Sorcerers, and the older brother, his descendants formed the White Sorcerers clan. Well, it's the Kaito clan, and the other one's like Shushu clan. They eventually fight a giant monster who's no enemy of theirs. They do eventually defeat it, thanks to Gin. But this was an awesome arc. Probably by far one of the best arcs of the whole season, along with Red Spider. And then, right after that, we have a quick little two-parter, which is an arc from the manga. The Santa arc. Okay, this was an interesting way to end the season, though they put the series in hiatus after this, where everybody dressed up like Santa. You have Gin, you have Kaguya Ursuru, Kaido, Kyubiru, and Izumi. They all dressed up as Santa. Though Izumi apparently trying to deliver herself as a present to Gin, Gin apparently kicked her in the water and then realized she was butt naked, so she decided to put her Santa suit on. Which her Santa suit is kind of like one of those Santa Girl type suits. Kaido has his, just with no regular beard, just has his shirt open just because he feels like it. Kiwi basically, well, it's kind of like Tazumi's outfit, like shows off one of her legs. Gin and Kagura's father pretty much wear dress in traditional style Santa suits, though her father puts on like a beard that just covers just barely her chin because he has a mustache. Gin actually puts on an actual beard. He's more of an actual Santa, and then they have these various settings that look like from various other series. Like one looks like it's from where, and a couple of these ones, Sheen is basically a tree. Is the tree in this one? Like first one, it's Kaido, and you have Hitsura and Otia pose as Kagura's parents. Otia I kind of get, but Hitsuga, no. And she's like, I am not having him as a brother-in-law. Yeah, it's so weird. The fact that he would act that way. And of course, Kagura basically acts like a child. Well, she kind of is. She's 14 years old. Yeah. Of course, Kaido just gets his message involved. And then one is like QB base, and with the second one, it just QB and Kagura beating the crap out of Sheen for like no reason at all. The third and last one, third one, it's kind of a mixture of a couple different things. Like this one looks like you have Sheen and you have his sister basically. Yeah, where they act like they're step-siblings. No, they're actual siblings. Yeah, and Zumi just blasts her way right through Sheen's window, and apparently she ends up right on top of him, and kind of spanks him with a whip. Yeah, because she is dominatrix, she apparently likes acting like that. Yeah, and of course, Otia basically beats the crap out of her for that. And eventually they all get stuck, and it turns out it's a cockroach house. And we see Kagura in a schoolgirl outfit, and we see her father and Keen just wearing regular school uniforms. And Hitsuga's in this little scenario where he's a cockroach teacher. Yep. Of course, they all go to like a kind of like a fast food place, and most of them leave. They all go being Santa, and of course, this was all like the final thing to end the season up. But yeah, absolute fun season. No really dark arcs this whole season. I would say the closest one kind of comes to be kind of dark is probably the Red Spider arc, and maybe the Diviner arc. The only ones I can think of, the only two arcs I can think of, they're kind of dark. Not like really dark, like they had like a Shingumi Crisis and the other one. But yeah, they're all really fun episodes. The only ones I didn't really care for was the Dentist one. The Dentist one and the Horse Races one. Those two episodes I skipped over because wasn't interested. So I just skipped over them. Yep. So yeah, that's really it for this particular review. Stay tuned tomorrow. I'm going to do a review because, well, my friend Edgar has been kind of egging me to watch this to feel my thoughts on it. After I put this up, I'm going to, well, of course, do another Comic Corner. And then I'm going to watch the Death Note movie from last year. And tomorrow I'll get my thoughts on the movie. Yes, I'll get my thoughts on the Death Note movie. I will talk about this. And of course, my thoughts also on the sequel that's happening. For some reason, I don't know why. So yeah, until I see you next video. Bye.